Wait, so you're a stripper and you grew up in a cult?
Joe's, and he pulls it out quite a long foreskin, I'm not gonna lie.
And then we went on the speedboat to the houseboat.
Like, do you think you like fit things in there? Have you ever tried? This man put a jalapeno in his foreskin. Women should be the least worried about us. We're not there for your man. I just got peed on.
Clean your dicks.
Welcome back to another episode of the Spicy Waitress Diaries. We have with us one of our Envy girls, Natasha.
Today we're going to be asking Natasha all things about the job, her experiences, funny stories, and some tips and tricks that she has. Please give us a like, share, and subscribe, and let's get into it.
I knew that I would now. I feel good.
How long have you been in the industry?
Coming on 4 years.
And you work strip club and topless?
Yes.
What do you prefer?
Very good question. I like both for different reasons. I'm a picky girl these days. I don't like new clients as much anymore. And I feel like at the club, if someone really annoys you, you can just walk away and go find someone else new right away, which is great. Whereas I feel like when you're on a job, obviously, if they annoy you, you just got to put up with it. But then I feel like most of the jobs that I go to now, they're a lot more fun though.
Envy jobs?
Oh, of course, only envy jobs.
At the strip club, do you have regular clients that you see?
I do. I feel like I actually now hustle differently, so I don't as much. But for years, I definitely had quite a few regulars. I have a sugarless daddy. We're breaking up today after 3 years together.
3 years?
3 years together, I know.
Wow. So when you say 3 years, like he's been coming into the club and seeing you,
Yeah, for
how
3
often?
years. He's from, actually, I won't say where he's from, but he probably comes in, he used to come in probably once a month. Yeah, but he's not from like Melbourne or anything, so.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, like he books you?
Yeah, so he'd book me for usually like 2 to 3 hours. We'd usually just have a wine and chat about all things life. We actually both grew up like in a cult, which I think like he was in a different cult than I was, but I think we like kind of bonded over it. But the problem,
Wow.
but then the problem was that he stayed like really religious, which is fine, but I'm so not. But I think he thought like I still was somehow. So I just have to like sit there and like talk religion with him. And I'm like, this is actually kind of traumatizing for me, you know? But
Wait, so you're a stripper and you grew up in a cult? Oh my God, you have to tell us about that.
well, I mean, some people don't classify it as one. I would. I mean, my lived experience with it. But yeah, I grew up as a Jehovah's Witness until I was like 22.
A few weeks ago, I was talking to someone about this and I like had no idea even what it was. So
Yeah, a lot of people don't. Or they sort of like know that them as like the door knocker people, but that's about it. Like not the ins and outs, I think.
So what did you have to do? Like you were just forced to...
I just grew up in it. It's like the only environment I knew. Like, yeah, I went door to door all the time. I'm not sure I'm like saying to stripper guys, like
So your like sales skills would
literally.
be very, yeah.
I was like from like 5 years old, I had to just go try to sell the Bible pretty much to people on Saturday mornings. So I was like, it's way easier to sell tits than it is Bibles.
Oh,
Oh,
wow.
wow, that's really interesting, babe.
Yeah, fun fact about you. And no fun fact, but I know another stripper who was in a cult as well, and it's like the environment that you're in as a child.
Yeah, you don't know any different. That's especially when everyone's surrounded by you is.
Did it make you kind of feel, because it was such a restrictive environment, that you were going to like lash out sort of thing?
I don't think it did because I used to follow the rules with like everything. I was like such a good girl. But then I think when I questioned my beliefs and it like made me question everything in society's rules. And I think that's why to me like things that might be considered taboo, like stripping, I was like, well, why? Like, why are they? As long as you're not hurting anyone and everyone's having fun, everyone's consenting. What's the actual issue?
What was your motive by like becoming a stripper?
Money, get hot. No, I'm just kidding.
Isn't it like everyone's? Yeah.
Which I feel like it's such a basic mentality, but then like you get into it and it's just so not that. I think you only last like 2 days if you think that's what it is. Yeah.
So when did you start?
I was 25.
Yeah,
when I
what
started.
age?
Yeah, so nearly 29 now.
And what was kind of your like money position before that?
Nothing. Like I was with my ex and he was supporting me at the time, which was great. I was a hairdresser before that too, but we'd just done a trip around to Australia. Things weren't really going that well between us. And yeah, no money to my name. And I was just like, you know what? Now seems like the time.
And now you've been stripping for like quite some years now. Yeah. Do you have your money kind of situation, saving and investing and that all sorted out?
I mean, I would have, but I just left everything to my ex guys. So, but yes, I think you learn. Like, I think it's smart. You definitely learn. And if you don't, it's really silly. I think like personally, I don't want to leave the industry and be like, there's nothing to show for it. Like, it's really important to set yourself up. Obviously, like, it's great to buy a designer handbag or something cute when you have that like crazy night all of a sudden. But then you forget that, oh my gosh, if I'm sick, I can't work. If I break a leg, I can't work. If I want to go get my titties done, well, I need 12 weeks off work. Who's paying me? Like, you have to think of the future for sure in this job. No, None.
I'm actually quite proud of all of our girls. I think everyone we've spoken to, you all have your head screwed on, and I think people look at strippers like, oh, they're dumb, they just want to get their tits out. And but speaking to all of you, you're like, we're saving, we're learning, and we're actually making good choices from what you're doing for work, which is really good.
Yeah, no, definitely. I think that's the biggest thing, right? There's such a skewed look at what dancers really are. But when you actually get down to it, like 80% of them are like some of the most intelligent women I've met. We're just taking advantage of a great situation.
Yeah, if you're hot in life, why not use it?
Yeah, exactly. We all got our strengths.
You said you had a regular client.
Yeah.
In the club and, kind of networking with people outside of the club, maybe at jobs. What would you say your skills and main tactics for getting a regular client and then keeping them coming in, keeping them spending money on you?
Listening to them. Pick up on their cues and what they need, because as much as we're there to look pretty, everyone's coming to you for a different reason and a different service. Not everyone's just coming because you're hot. If that's what you're going to rely on, there's how many girls in Melbourne doing the same thing, and we're all beautiful. Really, and that's hard for me because ADHD girl to actually shut up and listen, very difficult. But literally just that. I know it sounds silly, but listening to what the client needs and then adapting to that and seeing if it's something you can do, because there's no point in changing completely who you are, because that's never going to work either. But then you find those people that you gel with, or you can see that you'll bring them something of value, and then just building on that.
Essentially, it's a business. You are your business, and like you have to look the part. You have to learn the skills to talk to them, listen to them.
Yeah.
Like any type of business.
I think like a lot of girls don't think it's a long game with a client. They're like, how much money can I get out of this person? How much can I rot them for? I think what value can I bring to the client is a way better way to change the mindset and be professional about it. And you end up creating like a lot better friendships and long-term clients through that.
Is kind of in it sometimes for the quick buck, and you're like, well, actually, I've had this client for 3 years.
Yeah.
Like that's probably a lot more than one night and just
Exactly.
getting a couple grand. But I don't know, how much do you think you have earned from him? A long time, but
I haven't done the maths. I was gonna say, I don't think it's like crazy, but there'd probably be like a good 30 grand minimum.
that's pretty good.
I don't know, like maybe more than that. I'm like, oh no, it's been a few years over the years. I think I calculated 1 year and it was like 25, but I was like,
How much does he spend if he comes in once a month? How much is like his rough spend if he books you for 2 to 3 hours?
probably about, I feel like whenever he always comes over, his budget, no matter how many days he comes into the club, like, so he'll book me 4 hours, but it could be over 2 days or it could be over 4 days or 2 days. Yeah.
With those long bookings, what do you guys do? Because a lot of girls are going to be like, how do I keep these guys entertained?
Like I said, listen to what they like. My sugar daddy liked puzzles.
Wow, you guys playing puzzles together?
No, I just looked at it. Guys, I'm not that committed. I wish actually that'd be so cute.
Comes in with his backpack.
This is actually way more lame. You like pick up the photos and then show me all his puzzles like that he would do. But we also actually both really loved ABBA, so we put ABBA on and like have a dance concert because I'm like, heck yeah, I love ABBA. So
I'm someone who hasn't actually worked in a strip club. So when he books you, what do you do?
so he goes to the front, gets me an envelope, and then so usually they're hour bookings. You can do half-hour bookings, and then we go down to like a more private room, and then they have music speakers. So you just kind of play on what your environment is, I suppose. Sometimes I'll like order us food or make him a little coffee. We'll sit and have our coffee.
Oh, you can get food and coffee.
Yeah, you can Uber Eats some food. Yeah, so I've like Uber Eats him pizza before, like
That's so good.
because he doesn't know how to use his phone, so he doesn't know what Uber Eats is, guys.
Wait, how old is he?
I think nearly 70 now.
Realistically, when you have that sort of, relationship with a client, you become kind of very personal, and it's on a personal level. You can do normal things like that.
It's so true. Like once you get to know them and you're comfortable, like they become your friends, like bestie, and they come in all the time. It's just they're spending money on you. It's just like whining and dining, but you're in the club space.
It's just adapting to what the client needs. I've got clients that love to have a drink and have a dance and have a party, and that's what they like to do every weekend. Yeah. So then you kind of adapt into no, it's not even fake, but that you find that in you and you adapt to that. And then, with my sugarless daddy, he loves a cuddle. He wants he craves and misses that intimate touch, right? So even just sitting on the couch and like leaning on him, that sort of thing means so much more. He's not going to have a little ABBA dance with me or a slow dance or something, but he's not going to be on a rager or wanting 10 wines in the night,
Yeah. Have you always known that you need to like adapt and change your personality for different customers, or have you developed that kind of skill?
I think it's a skill. This like ADHD masking comes in really handy. It's a very common trait with ADHD people where we mask into other people's personalities, so we feel like we're normalized, like to make sure everyone else is feeling comfortable, because sometimes we don't like always feel like we fit in. So we think if we mimic what other people are doing, like I didn't even know I did it till I got like diagnosed and was reading all the symptoms. I'm like, oh my God, I do that. So I guess it's like can be a bad thing because sometimes you're like, well, wait, what are my core values? Let's get back to that. Let's make sure I still know me. But also quite handy too because definitely helps.
There's a fact that says that, like, a study in 2019, and they tested for strippers, they were 13 times more likely to develop ADHD.
To develop it.
Yeah. Yeah,
Interesting.
through sex work and, the likes.
I think it's that dopamine because you don't know what the day, especially in club work, you have no idea if your night's going to be unless you know you have regulars coming in. You don't know if you're going to have like a $200 night or a $2,000 night. And it's like you're kind of constantly chasing that high of those good nights. Well, I am anyways.
And so how tiring and like how do you think stripping has affected you mentally, like with the lack of sleep and like drugs, drinking, like
Yeah.
how are you feeling after 4 years being in the industry?
I love a wine, guys. I'm not gonna lie, but I don't know. I feel like I don't work crazy days. Like I've never been the girl that can do 5 to 6 shifts. Like I see those girls who just like push through. I'm like quality over quantity for me. Everyone's different, but honestly, I will make that same money in 3 days than 6 days. Like always, I've tried like so many times to be like, I can do it better. I can do extra days. And life's about balance for me, and there's just no way I could do 6. You just have to have healthy habits in place too. You can't be partying every time the client wants you to party with them. Like boundaries. Boundaries are big.
How do you handle that, or do you have any tips for anyone else in the industry who doesn't know how to say no when a client, because you have that feeling of, oh, maybe they're not going to pay me if I don't party with them?
Yeah. Honestly, I feel like it's such an easy trap to almost fall into because you want to be that fun person. But this is where I see some girls who get in the industry really young at like 18, and that's great because they are so confident. But it was like two ways. It's either like the best girls I've seen and they're great and have the best boundaries, or it's like they've grown up in the strip club, but then the boundaries are not there at all. Like they've just never learned them. And I was like, I think I'm grateful I come in at like 25 because I think for me, I would have been one of those girls that boundaries got pushed. I was always like pretty naive.
Do you have any tips for how to handle it?
Honestly, well, you got to think about the long game here too. Say you say yes to that client and it pushes your boundary and you're like, oh, it's just one time. They're going to come back and they're going to expect even more, or they're going to expect you to party with them every single time. So you have to think about the long run. And honestly, most of the time, guys like what they can't have.
If you're too
Too easy, they don't want it.
Yeah. And like the nature of jobs as well. I mean, with the sexual side of things and then the party things, the nature of the job can really, really be party, 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 drink with us. It's our best mate's bucks. Like, why aren't you celebrating with us? I'm like, oh, we don't know him. Like, I don't need to feel obliged to party with him. He's your mate, not mine. But
I'm here to pour the drinks and look pretty.
yeah, but we can also, like you said, adopt a kind of free spirit and free nature where you're not so uptight and they don't feel uncomfortable being in that state around you. But there is also like another thing that you need to consider as well. Girls that will literally like have pre-drinks before job. Wouldn't you guys agree? Like it's just like that's not the job for you.
Yeah.
No, to be consistently doing that, like it would be exhausting.
To think about their mental health after, it's just that's a lot. Like even when I started the industry, I was 19, and so I was the younger one, and I only started learning like when I was 21, 22 to stop, because I had one of those mini breakdowns, or I don't know, midlife quarter life crisis, where you're like, every time I go to a job I'm seen as that party girl, and I wanted to switch from that. And so to switch from that was quite hard because everyone's like, why are you not partying, why are you not doing this? And I'm like, because my liver, because my health. To try and change that, then I had to start faking partying and learn that skill. So you really do need to learn how to manipulate.
You know, it's so funny though. I cannot fake drink. Like notoriously bad for not being able to fake drink. Like, as I feel so like they're gonna know. So I literally have to just be like, I'm gonna get a water, or like just not take it. Like I can pretend I've been like, oh, I just had one, but I cannot. Like so many girls I know at work are so good at it.
I know, and like they do the shot thing and like throw it behind their back.
like embarrassing one.
One time, my girlfriend literally tried to do that, and he saw it, and he was like, "Just don't buy the shot."
It's similar. I literally like, I'm gonna do it. And I like panicked, and then I was like, what do I do? And I literally, the bartender like just puts it on the table, yeah. And like I didn't even do that. I just like looked at it and then paused and then pushed it over like in front of her, like down onto the counter. And she was like, we both looked at each other, and I was like. Somehow my client did not notice. I'm like, half the time they don't even, like, if you pretend you are, they're too drunk. If they're really pushing you to drink that much and stuff, they're too drunk to notice if you actually are or not.
Have you ever done it and thrown it and like hit someone or something? You're just like the girl behind you
I not even to like throw like
going over your shoulder.
over the shoulder.
There you go.
Now mine was more like the more bubbly. Like I think when I stopped drinking that, I was actually more fun at the party because you were just with it, and I'm like a bubbly person. So being around that energy, you are hyped, and so and knowing the clients as well makes it easier because you're like, cool, we've met, I'm a bit more comfortable.
What was your best night at a job or at the club?
Yeah, this is interesting. Wait, do you want to know figures or do you want to know like everything?
Story wise.
Story wise, okay. I was travel dancing with my friend and it was actually her regular. And she goes, "Oh, I just like to have a drink and like hang out." He's really lovely, very respectful. And I was like, "Okay, great. Sounds good." And we get there and he's definitely on one. Some of the conversation comes up about how long his foreskin is. And then he's like, "Can I show you?" And we're like, I'm just taking her lead on this one. I was like, usually I'm like, depends like on boundaries. Yeah. But it was like, I don't know. Here we are. Anyways. So she goes, "Yeah, you can show us." And he pulls it out, quite a long foreskin. I'm not going to lie. My friend's like a little bit evil though. And she's just ordered Mexican food. And we're like, "Do you think you could like fit things in there? Have you ever tried?" And he was like, "No, should we?" And she looks at the jalapenos and is like, and he did it. This man put a jalapeno in his foreskin. And then it stayed there.
What
Like, you
the
think,
hell?
wouldn't that be painful? Like, men, like, isn't that hurt?
Did he say anything? Was he like, I'm
He
in
was
pain?
laughing the whole time. And then we're like, "Okay, what else can we put in there?" And then he said that he had popcorn chicken in the fridge. So we go to get the popcorn chicken. And then it ends up being a massive chicken tender. And we're like, "We're not doing that. Like, this is where we draw the line." Like,
Chicken tender.
yeah. And then we literally had like all these like Hawaiian shirts. So we like put his Hawaiian shorts and shirts on and just danced around the room.
You know,
Rest of
he's
the night.
probably created a fetish out of that now. He probably has girls like eat food out of his foreskin.
But yeah, that also was my best money making night. Funny enough, he tipped me like $5,000. So
For being bearing witness of a jalapeno in the foreskin.
I felt bad because I was like you said, bearing witness to this whole thing. I'm just here for the ride. I think the scariest one though was when I did my first ever. I'd done dominatrix shows at the club for functions, but I'd never done one yet on privates. The first ever dominatrix show I go to, the guy his best mate comes up and he goes, "What show are you doing?" And I was like, "Oh, it's a surprise. It's meant to be a surprise." He's like, "Are you sure you don't want to tell me?" And I was like, "No, surprise." The man didn't feel pain. Like legitimately doesn't feel pain. So here I am, like doing my little whip, blah blah blah, yeah, and like I'm pretty rough. Like obviously you have your safe words and consent. Nothing was unsafe for him. This man had blistered nipples at the end because he wanted it. And I was like, "Are you sure? Like, should we sign a contract?" Like,
This goes into
but it was so
torture.
embarrassing because he was just bored the whole time. Like, no matter how extreme I took it, he was just like, and this is the best friend comes up and he's like, "You did a great job, but I was trying to warn you."
Oh.
What were you doing?
Like, we did candle wax, so we poured candle wax all down him. Then I got the whip out and I play this little cheerleader game. So I usually say, "What's your missus name?" And say it's Kate. Then I'll go, "Yell at a K." And then the louder they yell, the louder I whip them. And then if they need to tap out, they have to tap their best friend in. Yeah. And I'm pretty good at, I love being dominatrix. I'm like, "Get me that whip."
It gets the anger out.
Yeah. I don't go easy. I've never been complained. I've never been told that I'm too soft. It's always like the opposite. Boys are like, "No, stop, please." Yeah. They all need their safe words. This man did not. And then I was worried. I'm like, "Are you just too inebriated?" And that's because I don't want to cross a boundary there, obviously, to say professional. But literally, yeah, I chucked in with everyone because he wanted a private dance after that. And all he wanted was literally like the candle on his nipple, like full singeing it. Yeah.
Burning his nipple.
Do you smell like burnt flesh?
Yes, a little. It wasn't terrible, but there was definitely little nipple blisters. Yeah.
And I was like so scared.
To like, I was like, "Oh my gosh!" Like, I remember thinking about it a few days later, and being like, "Am I ever gonna get like booked or like with these people again?" Like, even though I know I consented, but I got like a rave review, and they're like from his missus being like, he couldn't stop talking about it, and I was like, and he's how like happy he was.
She must like
That's a patient woman. Your husband comes home with blistered nipples, but I guess it saves her doing it. Like,
but imagine
She's like, "Thanks, babe."
they have like the full 50 Shades of Grey room set up, surely. At home.
Oh, for sure. They'd be one of those couples. I love the couples that have like chill girlfriends. Like sometimes I've been at jobs and like they'll FaceTime their fiance, future wife, and they'll be like, "Look at the strippers the boys got me." And we just have a good chat. Like I feel like the ones that have those sort of relationships that are chill with their partners, they are the ones that last.
Honestly, honesty.
strippers are like, women should be the least worried about us. We're not there for your man.
We're there for their money.
If your bank account's not looking great, maybe you should be worried. But
So how's your perspective on men changed as a stripper?
for good and for worse, I appreciate the good ones. Like, you good guys out there, you rock. But it definitely can skew sometimes. But I have to remind myself, we're seeing them usually at their most vulnerable or inebriated.
Yeah. Good point, actually.
Yeah, even like you think about yourself, that really drunk time you said that, we've all had that, like, oh, you wake up and you cringe, or at least I have anyways. Yeah, it's not you. I have to remind myself because I think if you go down that negative train, it's not so great. I think that what I love about stripping in general, male or female, there's so many people I never would have met and from different industries and different walks of life. And it really like opens up your eyes to what the world's about. if you're looking in the right places. So I think it can be a good thing. You just have to get careful that you don't get too negative about them sometimes.
Definitely agree with that. I think strippers are the most like intelligent, smartest women in the world because we speak to people from all walks of life. We know so much about different industries and different people, different cultures because our job is to conversate, mingle with different people.
You almost become like a therapist and learn all these different skills on how to talk to businessmen because like half the people that book are wealthy and like they've learned a lot. Like one of the best bookings I've been to was like this big mansion. Then we had to get on, he had like Porsches in his house, and then we went on the speedboat to the houseboat. And like there was this other stripper there and she was running around with this younger guy and I was like, birthday boy, millionaire, talk to me right now. And we were just chatting the whole time and like you just learn so much from them, and like that's the skills that we're developing.
Yeah, exactly. I think that's like what we said about listening. Yeah.
Acquiring like skills and talking to the right people, but also you're getting paid for it too.
Yeah.
Always handy. I do embarrassing things all the time. I just don't get embarrassed. Like, but I think it's a stripper thing. Do you know how many times like you go downstairs and I just like whip my tampon out? Is that too much information? Like, I'll literally be standing talking and I forget that some girls like are like new baby dancers and I'm like, oh hey, how you going? And I'm just like, I can't find my tampon. Like, have you seen it? So nothing really like it's funny, but they don't really traumatize me anymore. Like, I lost my hair extensions on stage. I like put my hand down and I like pulled out and I just like it was a lesbian show actually, and I like looked at my friend and I laughed and I like held it up to her in the middle of the lesbian show, and then I was like, oh whoops, that's not very professional. But I'm like, I wasn't embarrassed. I just think like
Like you said, half the guys are there pissed, and hopefully they won't remember that.
wait, have you girls ever got peed on in a club?
No.
Talk about a pee story on here though. I've witnessed.
Have you been peed on?
No, but not in like the some people like that sexually, but like me and my bestie both like have sat on someone and like not realized that they've pissed themselves. But mine was like mine I don't even like to make fun of because it was so not their fault. They were like had disabilities and I was actually the carer's fault for not looking after them properly. But my bestie had just had like a great night and I just was like sitting downstairs like, I just got peed on. And she's like laughing, like not because of this, but just because it's funny. You know? And then a year later, my regular comes in. And his friend is so drunk. And then I'm like, why is she not like sitting on his lap and stuff anymore? Because I got her like booked in with me and my reg. And I've never had an issue with my regular. And she keeps like coming, like sitting on my regular's lap and like talking to us. And I'm like, what's going on? She's like, I think he's pissed himself. I think he has. And I was like, no. And then he did it like 3 times. We had to like
Pissed himself 3 times.
and how embarrassing, like when it's my regular to be like, okay, we're actually gonna have to ask you to leave because your friend's peed himself. Like, but like karma on my friend because I was like, you laughed at me for getting peed on and now you got peed on a year later.
Is that one of the grossest things you think happened or anything else happened?
I know of like so many grosser things. Like other girls have had like projectile vomit into their holes. Like leaned over and then the man's got sick. Have you not heard that story at the club? One of the girls was like,
The one that Charlotte told the other day.
Oh, the one where she blew.
Oh, no,
coke.
that one.
no, she just went like just started her dance, I think, and like leaned over from what I know. This is like, the the rumors of the change rooms. But yeah, she leaned over and just as she'd fully gotten naked, she's leaned over and then he's just like leaned forward and then we're like, oh, and they get sick, and then he's just projectile vomited into essentially all of it. Yeah. I was like, I don't think I could come back from that. I think I would quit.
That's like a UTI, thrush, like everything.
BV.
How fun is it that they proved that BV is the boy's fault?
Is it?
Is that like
Yeah.
a proven fact?
Yeah, it's a proven scientific fact that you should get your partner tested and he has to go on antibiotics as well to get rid of it.
Good.
Yes. Thank you. Right?
You know what? Actually, I haven't had it since being with Matt.
All the time, my friends would be like, I found out that my partner was like cheating on me because like I had one of my best friends theorized this for so long because she's like, never had it. Then all of a sudden, like my relationship went weird. And yeah, and both times those people had cheated on her and they got obviously from someone else, come back giving it to her. But then like it was never proven, right? It was always just us and something wrong with us. No, it's the man. It's the man. It's always the man's fault. I'm kidding.
So it's like close to an STD.
Yeah, essentially.
Yeah, right.
Wow.
Yeah, now we know.
The more you know.
Clean your dicks. All right, thank you so much for jumping on and being so open.
Letting me blabber.
See you guys on the next episode. Please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Bye.